Good day, Lagos, and welcome to Tea Time on PlusTvAfrica. I am super excited to have you join us on yet another broadcast on this particular platform. It's the last day actually in April, and you can see how excited I am actually. My name is Prezi, and doing today's show with me, I have the one and only beautiful damsel. You can call her all the names you would actually love to call her. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome my co-host on the Tea Time show today, Oma. Come on, you need to really clap for me. The introduction was given.
It was given. You tried today.
You
tried today, like you hit the G spot.
Thank you very much. I'm super excited. At least you acknowledged that today.
Right?
Yeah.
No, before I used to get it though. But you got it today.
How are you doing today, Oma?
I'm fine.
You look beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Of course. I'm an Enugu girl now. What do you expect?
Well, I mean, I can attest to that. I've met Enugu girls and I know
they're very gorgeous.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know.
Shout out to all the Enugu girls.
I was going to say something else about Enugu girls, but I want to believe that you have that character.
Whatever you say, better be good.
You are homely, right? I mean, Enugu girls are homely.
We are.
Okay.
We are good. We are perfect.
Okay. I'm happy. Maybe we'll talk about the other arrangements later.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Tea Time on PlusTvAfrica. Like I said, we're actually excited to have you here. And today on the show, we won't be doing the normal routine, but basically we'll be telling you about some of the amazing, gist and trends that are happening in the entertainment scene. And we'd love you to be part of today's show by giving us your comments via our YouTube platform at PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. You can actually drop your comment and we'll be glad that you actually did so. Starting off today's conversation, we have some of the amazing stories that made rounds as yesterday and also today. And I'd like to start off with this first story about Rema. Now, Rema had a particular interview yesterday with a content creator. And, they were actually having a conversation back and forth and all of that. And I'll just give you a little brief on how that happened. Now, he actually stated that Nigerian parents tend to overlook or excuse certain behaviors in children who financially support the family. Now, while this particular interview was going on, Rema advised the particular presenter in question to get a tattoo. But he actually expressed concern, that is the presenter, he expressed concern about his mother's disapproval for a tattoo. And he actually, did a reminisce saying that there was a time when he wanted to braid his hair and his mom and people actually ostracized him for that particular act. Now, in response to this, Rema then encouraged him to focus on financial success rather than, to actually follow up on financial success rather than having to think about what people would say regarding his outlook and all of that. Now, the major story about this is Rema is saying that for him being the breadwinner in his family, that his parents will hardly not scold him, right? Because, he's bringing money to the family, he's helping out and all of that. So, Oma, over to you. I know that here in Nigeria, right, we have issues where, for someone like Rema now, he has made the millions, and today you can even tell somebody to sit down in the house and maybe they will sit down, I don't know. But, there's this idea where as the child who brings, even if you are the last born, but so far you are bringing in money, that anytime they call you, you bring in that mullah to the house. Nobody will say anything to you, right? And I remember there's something they say in our Igbo culture. They say something about that if a rich man is in the midst of, I don't know how they put it.
That's umuna.
Yeah, umuna. But if you have money, you have a say.
Yes,
right?
if you don't have money and the one that has money wants to talk,
say something.
Everybody will be like, shut up now, let him talk.
Because of his money.
Because of his money.
Right.
Because they know whatever he has to say is going to be like, I can drop this, I can do this. But the one that, like they used to say, there's this saying that we said that goes like this. The poor man gives a lot of advice.
Yeah.
But you see the rich ones, they believe in what can we do? Now, how do we support? How do we move this project?
Yeah.
But the poor man will be like, advice. Advice. In the family, there's something about money. When you have money, you don't want to do too much advising.
You just even be quiet.
Yes, these people that have money, they feel like, why should I talk when my money can sort this out? When my money will be talking.
Yeah.
So that thing about Rema is just like what he said. He said he himself, he knows Rema has been there most of us have been there. When some people, like, it's when, like, let me say, when you were earning 20,000 naira, and when you were earning 100,000 naira, there are certain responsibilities you could not take over.
I was going to talk about that responsibility part.
There are certain responsibilities you cannot take over when you are earning 20,000 naira. But once you are earning 100, you'll be like, okay, I'm earning times 5 or times 4 of my salary. How do I do this? How do I do this? By then, you are commanding respect. See, it's somebody that said money is not everything. I beg. Yeah, I'm chilling. I'm gonna be chilling on that yash, that money, but that happiness. Because there are certain happiness that money can buy for you. There are certain luxury money can get for you. Yes, money cannot buy everything like health and everything. But the truth is, you can use that money to maintain your health and you will live longer. But when you don't have money, you cannot maintain that health. So what's the guarantee you're going to live longer?
Okay, so let's focus on, because I mean, as subtle as this story is, it's still driving at somewhere, right? Now, Rema is asserting that he believes that parents are likely not to scold a child or children who are actually bringing in or contributing financially to the family. For me, I think it's different stroke for different folks, right? And you will not generalize it to be the same case for other families. There are even families where you can even make up to 1 million. You can even be a millionaire, but when you see your father, you know he's your father. When you see your mother, you know he's your mother.
It depends on the setting, just like you said.
Yeah.
Now, why am I saying this? We know most of this. You see this thing of when you have money, they will not scold you. It happens in a family that they had nothing.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay,
Then that child comes in and change the whole scenario. They'll be like, he's the one making the money.
Like a messiah.
Yes, he's like a messiah. It's like there's this king title.
Yeah.
It's just like when between the eldest and the youngest, when the youngest has money in a family that has nothing, they will forget that elderly and focus on the youngest one that is bringing in the money. But in a family whereby they are well-to-do, it doesn't apply.
Are you sure?
Yes, it doesn't.
Okay.
Because they'll be like, the fact that you have money more than me does not mean I'm poor. I have money too. Yes, you have more than me, but that doesn't mean. Then you see the other people, it's more like a competition. Okay, I want to do better. But in a poor house, like in a poor home, they believe in you are the one that have everything. I have to get from you to get to where I'm going to. So yes, and I think our parents have a hand in all of this because it's the kind of treatment they give. Right. Sometimes our parents will be like, I love them equally, but through the treatment, okay, the way they will talk to this person, you just notice it, yeah.
But I mean, I like the idea you brought up, and I think it's actually true because, you know, in a family where they've probably not even seen a bag of, you know, stuff from the supermarkets, like you buy stuff and bring to the house, or they've not seen this particular amount of money before in their life, right? I understand how they start seeing you as the child, right? But don't you think it's something like related to maybe the religion? I mean, there are families where they pay so much attention to character and, you know, factors like that, actually. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
It's very rare.
Very rare.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you mentioned, rich family, right? There are also rich families that pay attention to some of these things, you know. As much as even if, for instance, maybe not even money, maybe you go out there and you make a big achievement, like masters, PhD, and all of that. And because of that, you just feel like you're on top of the world and you feel like, oh, nobody can talk to me anyhow, nobody can control you because, I mean, you've gotten to a particular, you know, niche of your career. So I'm just saying, basically, I don't know if you understand.
Okay, I'm trying to get you right. You're talking about aside money aspect.
Yeah, aside money.
Okay, yes. Truly, aside money aspect, there are other things that when you achieve, there's this preference, treatment, and all of that, respect. It's just like being a doctor and somebody being a teacher. Of course, everybody's going to respect the doctor more than the teacher.
Right.
But in all of this, I feel like it's the upbringing.
Okay.
The family core value. Do you understand? The family core value, the family setting. If you grew up if there is a setting of no matter what you achieve, we are the same in this house.
Right.
That person will not have that mentality. But growing up as a child, if there is this mentality of this person is doing way better than you, this person is doing way better than you, this person is way better than you, character-wise, achievement-wise, and all of this, that thing will stick. Am I working in line with you?
I get you.
So it's just like, let me debate a bit. It's just like a child that has good morals and a child that wants to live a wayward life for a while and see what it feels like, you know, that overprotectiveness, and you be like, this person is following my lead, you are doing otherwise.
Okay, I know scenarios like that. So
in such cases now, you see some people, you see those ones that are wayward, they'll be like, you see that one that is good, that has good morals, I'm going to prove to you that I'm way better. The fact that I live a wayward life does not mean I'm actually wayward, but I'm going to prove. That's where the competition comes.
And you know, the truth is, I won't really blame Rema for saying this, because we are in a society where so much reference has been given to money and financial, what's the word to use now? Will I say dominance or financial stability, right? Where even nobody cares. For instance, now we've talked about the issue of, you know, laundering money and those issues, those crime issues, and we have children who goes out there, bring money from wherever source they get the money from, but the parents don't want to know where it's coming from. Their own idea is this person is bringing in money, and just like Rema said, he said, no matter how you want to act, no matter whether you want to do tattoo, you want to plait your hair, that one is not a concern for parents. Their own is just who is bringing in the money to the house.
That's right.
And I think it's not really a good mindset, so to say.
It's not, because that's a poverty mindset. Let's be realistic. It's a poverty mindset. Because why would you say that? If you have the money to give these people,
right,
they won't feel like with them having money, they can buy you over. Because that's you saying you bought your parent over. Do you understand? If you have money, like as a parent, you're able to train your child, you're able to have that money. You make sure you have the money before you have these kids, before you bring them into the world. They don't have to be the one to grow up and bring the money into the house. You have a say. But in a case whereby the child is one doing everything, the child might even end up threatening you. That's why most parents don't know how to talk. They'll be like, if I talk now, this child will now threaten me. I say, Mommy, please, do you know where I've got this money for? If I don't do this money will not come. So
there are even children who they spend money on their family, and they remind the family that they are the ones spending money on them.
Definitely.
And that's one of the reasons this kind of mentality sometimes is not good, because at the end of the day, you put that child in that spot where they feel like God even over the family, right? And it feels like nobody can talk to them, nobody can correct them, even when they are wrong. And it's so wrong, actually.
It's very wrong.
Yeah.
I think Nigerian youths, or the youths of the world, should do better, and our parents, we are the upcoming parents, like we are the future generation. We see ourselves, most people, and there's something I love about this generation, you know, as much as there's many crazy aspects of this generation, but one thing I love about some of the youth of this generation is most of them are conscious of the fact that there are mistakes my parents made.
They do not want
and
to make
I don't want to make that mistake. Why? What are those mistakes? My parents brought me into this world without even planning my future, without any backup for me. But me, I want to achieve something that even when I'm not there, my child can fall back to it. When I see our youth talking like this, I'll be like, nice.
That's
it means you know your lineage, you know where you're coming from. You don't want to be dumb. You don't want to go there and do something that you're not supposed to do. You see, it's just like ladies, when some of them get pregnant, be like, if I've seen somebody get pregnant and say like, I want to go and give it to a surrogate mother. Now it's not like she doesn't want to keep that child. She knows she cannot afford to give that child a better life. But she rather give that child to somebody who can give that child a good life. To be honest, most of the youth of these days, we don't want our children to come and suffer what we have suffered.
Right.
Because our eyes are seen.
My hands are off, actually.
Our eyes are seen.
And you made a good point, because, I mean, there was also a day when I was having a conversation with my dad, and I had to tell him, I said it to his face, I said, I don't think I want to be like you. Now, this is not coming from a bad side or me trying to threaten my father, no, but from the aspect where I want to take a different course or path from him, right? Yeah. And I think I like that point you made. I would have given them the excuse that maybe there was no insurance company or there was no, but I mean there was actually. It's just that some of them didn't have this financial knowledge as at their time.
And the fact that now, some of the mistakes they made, some of them could have taken care of 3 kids comfortably. But when they went as far as having 6, 7, 8, and the finance they are supposed to use to manage 3 kids, there isn't need to manage 8 kids. There is no how that would be enough.
This is one, now that you've just pinpointed on this, or you made this particular assertion, this is my own message to you, right? if you know that 2 children is what you want, please
stick to it.
Don't allow anybody put you on that pressure of, oh, you have to do 6, oh, you have to do 5. You know, there was something I even heard recently in a wedding. There's this thing they do a countdown. They say if you want to cut your cake, is the number of children you want. And I'm like, so they do the counting, and if it's 9, if it's 10, then they say it's 10 children you have. Please,
but guess what? Do you know that then in some cases, after they've gotten married and the woman has like 1, 2, due to the child labor and everything, she'd be like, honey, we cut 4, like we had 4 counts when we wanted to cut our cake. But please, can we stick to just 2? Then along the line, I was like, the fact that the youths of these days are very conscious of this scenario, I love it. Now, we see people that, okay, I have somebody that, okay, let me use a popular person in Nigeria, Chef T, Diary of a Kitchen Lover. She has just 1 kid. It took her a while before she got pregnant, but she had 1. She said she's not planning to get pregnant again. They asked why. She said growing up as a child, she knew what she saw. She said she doesn't mind using all her finance to give this female child, the best, like the best life. Let her child, a child that is not up to 6 months has a kitchen in her room. Like she's doing everything to give this child the best life. And I'm like, it's not like she cannot have 2, she cannot have 3. But there is something. She's looking back and she's like, I don't want my child to go through this. Because some of the decisions our parents made put us in certain situations that we are not proud of. Do you understand? Some of us are going through trauma from some of the incidents. Some of us, to be honest, see some of the adults you see on the road, when you see them act in some kind of way, some of them need therapy. Some of them have this trauma that they are dealing with. Then some of them is the neighborhood where they lived. That thing they saw while growing up is what is in them. You see some people say, this person is loud. They grew up in a lousy environment. But guess what? When they start to mingle with people that grew up in a calm environment, they'll be like, I'm not supposed to be acting like this. I'm supposed to be acting like this. You not see them teaching themselves. It's difficult because why? They begin to like, you see some of them explaining themselves. I'm sorry I'm like this. This is why I'm like this, but I'm working on myself. Please give me time to work on myself.
Okay, so Omar, I like that you have a lot to say on this particular, and you know it's quite an interesting conversation, I must say. But let's just leave it at this Rema story. But I would still say, right, that financial success is good, but I don't think it concerns like every family. That all families will not scold their children. Okay. All families do not school their children because there's somebody who is financially buoyant in the family or successful in the family, so to say. Well, let's just move over to.
Let me run now.
Let's move over to our next story, Omar. Don't worry, we'll continue that later on. So we have another story on Kim Kardashian. I know there was a time we talked about this particular issue where she was robbed at her apartment, and this was in 2016. Now, yesterday, there was a court proceeding on the whole issue, and one of the, let's say, accused, right, spoke, and his name actually is Eunice Abbas. He's actually a central figure in the ongoing Paris trial of the group accused of the 2016 armed robbery of Kim Kardashian and also the alleged theft of $9 million in jewelry. He actually stated that he now regrets the trauma he caused and inflicted on the reality star. Abbas also acknowledged to the jury yesterday that despite his extensive criminal past, that this was the first time he truly recognized the trauma he caused Kim Kardashian. Now, one thing I like about this is that, one, he affirmed that he knows that he has done a lot of crime in the past, right? But this is one of the victims that it has affected him emotionally. Now, robbery is something that could cause trauma for a lot of persons, and I can understand that when this happened to Kim Kardashian, she felt a little bad, and it was quite a sad one for her, right? But good thing is that now it's already in court, and the proceeding and everything is already ongoing to know truly how this could be addressed, and maybe we'll see who will go to jail and who will not go to jail, right? But I know you've heard of this story, and we've actually had a conversation previously on this. Now, what would you say is your own idea as regards all of this issue? Kim Kardashian is a big figure in the entertainment scene worldwide, right? And I know this cannot just fly out of the window just like that. Something would definitely, the person who did it or the group of persons who did it will definitely be caught at the end of the day, and they will be charged to court, or I mean go to jail. Actually.
Can I give my honest review?
Yeah.
This guy is actually in court, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In his previous crime, was he ever arrested? No.
Well, I mean, for him to have said that he was actually had been involved in a lot of stuff before.
Meaning he has not been arrested before. Okay. The reason why this one is touching him now is because he's arrested. Out of everything he has done, this one is his, like, you know that thing they said, one every day for the thief, one day for the owner. This one, why that bone has hooked him. Like, he has been eating different meats, but this particular meat,
is more than him.
He has chewed the bone, but one tiny thing has hooked him. That's why he's feeling this guilt. But here's the thing, it's good for someone to feel like, okay, like, yes, everybody have a past. We've done something that we are not really proud of. Repentance is the key and everything. But my question is, why did you decide to repent inside the prison? But at the same time, you might have gone through a lot. You might have seen through a lot of things.
But he could also have been traumatized. Traumatize somebody.
Everybody will be traumatized in this. We are talking about Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian have told them, I will pay deal with this. I want them to come. I mean,
looking at the things they took away, like allegedly took away, right? $9 million. Like that's a lot in jewelry. I mean, if they even give you just one part of that jewelry, it could change your life.
You saw, okay, wait, let me say that jewelry, like you saw like 5. You couldn't take 1. You took greed at his peak. No, but for me, this issue has been long, like since 2016. That's how many years.
That's
the child that they gave birth to in 2016 is already,
you know,
like. That's this kind of thing. They'll be like, when this issue was going on, you were still in the belly, because how?
But I feel like the attention given to the case, just like you mentioned, 2016 till now is, I mean, almost like 4 years more.
Yeah.
Right. And that shows the temerity or the how high this issue is, and it shows the concern also she has. She feels like this is more like a dent to her character, so to say, and she just wants to make sure that there's a resolution to this, actually, you know. So I just feel, I hope, right, that this is actually like they're able to like address this. Okay. I don't know if they will be able to get the major people who did it, but I mean that is what the court is for, right, at the end of the day.
No, they have. For him to confess, that means they are with the right people. So for me, I just feel like even if they intend to like jail him for like 20 years, maybe they should cut it down to 15 or 12, but they should not leave him like that, so that he can understand, he can learn very well.
And understand the trauma.
So by the time he comes out, but they should take out the years he has spent already. Like they should count from 2016 in that 12 years, so that they should have mercy.
Oh my, you can't be a court. You can't be a judge, actually.
I will have mercy.
All right, let's quickly go on a break right now, and when we come back, we'll continue with more conversation here on Tea Time.